So I've decided to make myself a cup of coffee and to just share some thoughts on the YouTube channel to all the subscribers and to the Empowering Angels and the Empowering Alchemists and anybody else who watches this video. So right now, we are currently I'm currently in the process of just showing you these. I'm making some counters. So I'm in the process of making some 5-ml counters like these. You see this bag of 5-ml counters. I'm in the process of making these for the game Empower in an Hour. So we currently have, this is the game, as we know. And this is the tube that it will go in. So at this moment in time, I'm in the process of putting these games together, making the 5-ml counters to send out to 111 people. I think there's just a few more over that have requested a free game. If you're watching this and you haven't claimed your game, then go to the website includeme.now.site. That's where you're able to claim a free game of Empower in an Hour. It's taken about 8 weeks for it to be pulled together. But that's because we're, like I said, making the counters. I've just had a month of illness and I'm more or less back to full recovery. So I will be on with those shortly. So I wanted to give you this update because right now our world is in need of radical transformation. Radical transformation in that 2020, everything stopped, as we know. Our time was given back to us. So when we look at our counters for the game, we could address time because time was given back to humanity. What have you been doing with your time? What can you do with your time? So one of the things that many of us stepped into doing, she says, was to look after our health. Having spent the last month in bed, more or less, with whatever symptoms I've just been clearing, health is more important now than ever before in our lives. Health and taking care of your own health and knowing you have a choice with regards to what you put into your body, that is really important right now. Many people, many of us have been taught to listen to everybody else other than ourselves. We don't know how to fully listen to ourselves. And one of the reasons for the game is to help us to find our inner compass. This game is your personal coach. It's your personal mentor. It's your inner self, your innate self that communicates to you through this game on those issues that we've all got in common that we're currently really being tested with right now. So these are the issues that we are really being tested with. So time, we were told to go home, to stay indoors and to wait. We're able to address our health and we're also many people concerned about money. So money, resources, currency. Many of us didn't know how we were going to increase this. We didn't know how we're going to earn if we weren't going to work, if we weren't going out. And so some people have lost their jobs. Some people are uncertain about what they're going to do next. They don't know if they've got the skills. Here lies the skills. The skills are within us. How do we bring that out? How do we really look at what do I want? How do I want to spend my time? How do I really want to spend my time? How is it going to bring me joy so that I'm feeling happy and content within myself? Does it serve me? Does it serve humanity? How do I generate my income? All these questions are being asked right now by many people on our planet. How does it fit into my hopes and dreams? What are your hopes and dreams? Many of us have never tapped in to our hopes and dreams because we've always been busy doing, busy outside of ourselves, working for somebody else or just doing. So right now, when we talk about radical transformation, these are the issues that are being addressed. And that last sign on there, the last symbol on there is plan. What Empowering an Hour does, it helps you to plan. It helps you to sit and to have time for you. It helps you to start looking at you. Who are you? What differences have you got in the world to other people? Because when we identify what that difference is, that's where we can help to find your passion, your future, your way of being. So I've just had a conversation, and that's why I'm doing this video, is to release some of that conversation, because one of the things that I'm really mindful of is that when our world changed in 2020, the framework, the structure, so if you can imagine a house, with the roof, the structure of our world changed. It's crumbling. It's crumbling because it's no longer serving humanity. It's being exposed. It's vulnerable. It's crumbling down to the ground. When this structure and this framework crumbles because it's not a just structure, it doesn't serve the whole of humanity. It's not served the whole of humanity. Then what are we left with? We're left with the rubble. How do we rebuild? If you've got any comments, pop them down below. If you're listening to this far, and if you are listening to this far, thank you so much. But please make your comments, because, is this making sense? Our world is currently crumbling, and many people are in fear. Many people are in uncertainty, insecurity. They don't know which way they're going to go. They don't know who to trust. The only person that you can trust right now, really, is yourself. But are you equipped with the confidence, the self-esteem, the self-worth, the self-value? You might not be, but you might think that you're not, but you are. In these moments, our goal is to really listen to our hearts, the heart of compassion. That's what can help to navigate your sense of self, your sense of value, your sense of worth. And that's what we aim to do. Our goal with the game is to help you to find your true self, to help you to connect to you, to connect to all the things that you're passionate about, to connect with all the things that are important to you, and most importantly, to make sure that your foundations are solid to move forward into a new way of being. So we've shifted from doing, and we've gone into a place of being. But right now, many of us are still using the old tools. This is a new tool to help you navigate into your new self, your new way of being. So when we talk about the crumbling of the foundations, the framework, we get to the foundations, but our foundations go beneath the ground. They go further down. So we have to dig. So not only are we witnessing the crumbling, but we're also witnessing the digging deep of our foundations. Back in 2003, I was gifted some information that dates back to 1712. So for me, that was digging back into the foundations of our world and how the structure had been formed. And what I found is that dates back to 1712. There's a man called William Lynch. Go and search him. Go and search William Lynch online. He's there. Go and find out the structure that he put in place in 1712, that he said would last for at least the next 300 years. And it did until 2020. And so what the game is about is releasing all the framework and the structure, looking at the foundations and strengthening the foundations so that there's a solid, value-driven base from which to build. So this is preparation time. This is inner preparation. We are here to help navigate you to find you and your true self. Even if you have been doing personal development, personal growth things for years, This is about how do we come together as a community of people to help discover the truth of who we are. That's going to take a long time to do. Foundations take a long time. But at the same time, we accelerate it, which is why it's radical transformation. We accelerate it because of the way that we do this, the way that we play. It's not as hard as you think. It's not going to pop up some information that's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that that was there. This is about you taking control of your foundations and really stepping into your values, your worth, your sense of self. So when you identify what's important to you, then you can build from those solid foundations. But the beautiful thing is you've also got a community who are all doing the same. So what we're doing is leveling out the playing field so that we all have the same viewpoint, but we're bringing our speciality, our enthusiasm, our way of being, our attitude, our behavior. We're bringing a new energy. For a moment, just imagine you have got all the solutions to the problems that are going on in the world right now. Imagine the only thing that is stopping you from accessing it is yourself, is your belief that you don't know the solutions, that you're confused, that you're uncertain, that you don't believe in yourself. Nobody has ever believed in you. How on earth could you have all the solutions to the problems that are going on in the world? We are all part of the solution. It's whether or not we allow ego to stop us from seeing the truth of who we are. Sometimes we need each other in order to be able to do that. I was going to say, I'm going to finish off my coffee because it's going cold here. I hope that that's given you a little bit more insight into the depth of where we're coming from. We've dug deep, so we're addressing issues that are 300 years old. The biggest one being the way that we earn money. If we can't put food on our table, if we can't keep a roof over our heads, that's where we start. If we can't teach somebody how to keep a roof over their head and put food on the table, because right now, 2020 made it that many people are struggling with resources and currency right now. So the biggest problem in our world right now is poverty. So we are empowering angels. We are learning ourselves how to put food on our tables in order to then gift that to other people. Many of us can sit there and talk to people and say, you should be doing this and you should be doing that. We're not into you should be doing that. We're looking at those three fingers that are pointing back at us and saying, I tell you what, instead of me telling you what to do, I'm going to do it for me. I'm going to show how I can do it. I'm going to learn as much as I can of how, and this is me talking to me, I'm going to learn how to put food on my table. And it's not even my table. I'm going to learn how to put food on the table. And then I'm going to teach you. And if you want to come along on the journey whilst I'm doing that, then you're more than welcome. But I'm going to teach you how to do the same. Now, that's not because you can't put food on your table. That's to say, if we can all learn how to put food on the table and keep a roof over our heads, then that's the resources that the world needs right now. If we're able to learn that, then we're able to teach anybody who knocks on our door, if we've got a home, anybody who contacts us on social media and says, can you help? We're able to help them. I want to say that recently this happened where I'd put out there and shared with people that, that I need to learn how to put food on my table and get a roof over my head, not even keep a roof over my head. And I'm still waiting for that community to answer, how can I do that? Because if somebody can teach me how to do that, then that's the information that I need right now. The day after putting that call out, somebody contacted me and said, didn't contact me, they just put in the community, I just saw this community, somebody needed help and said, I've not been paid what I needed to be paid. I'm skint. Can you help me? And I just thought, wow, isn't that interesting? I've literally just put that out in the community and look what I've got back. And I knew that that was my opportunity to do something about it. I had to do something about it because I'd already put that out there. And even though I did have resources, it was about, okay, how can I share the small amount of resources that I've got? How do I keep the fear at bay? How do I stop the panic of, oh my gosh, I've got these bills coming in and how am I going to pay them? I just had to put all that aside and just give. so that this man and his partner could eat for the day. Now, I'm not telling you that from a boasting point of view. I'm showing how the universe will respond to our requests. I'd put out the call. I then was given the call to help somebody. I couldn't ignore this couple. And do you know what was interesting is what I gave, I got double back from another source. And so what the universe was demonstrating was don't hold on to things, release them. The problem in our world right now is that we've got a small amount of people with a lot of accumulated wealth, but that's all changing. But how do you manage wealth? How do you manage resources? How do you manage the currency that is currently running in your life that you maybe can't see? We are so resourceful. It's not just about money. It's about how resourceful are we as community. That's what part of this is about. So this is about coming together and showing each other's vulnerabilities, but also showing each other's strengths and finding our way and navigating our way through what is an amazing time. But it's also recognizing, as the game says, in all of this, you have a choice. This is all about choice. How do you choose? So empower yourselves with the choice. Get a game, put yourself down, claim a game. Like I said, it's free. It's just the postage and packaging to contribute towards. We'll do the rest. As you claim the game, you can sit with your family and create plans and create visions and really release your imagination and put it into action. Thank you so much for listening. I really needed just to get a lot of information, some of this information, because a lot of it's in layers. And some of us are struggling with understanding. We're trying to understand. We're trying to go from a place of inner via the heart. And so if we can tap into that heart of compassion and to think, what is it like for somebody to think, gosh, I can't eat tonight. Where am I going to be sleeping tonight? These are just basic things that if we tap into, what is that feeling? What does that feel like for people? And what can I do about that? Then make sure that you have got your resources, your foundations in place so that then you can be a better service to somebody else. That's the key to this, that if you have got yourselves topped up with everything that you need, then how can you then be of service to other people? Because you never know what's around the corner. Your neighbour might be knocking on the door. Make sure that we're topping your resources up so that you're able to be a better service to others. If this is resonating with you, it'd be wonderful to have you on board, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for listening. And like I said, claim the game below, share with as many people. The aim is to have at least 250 million homes with the game. In fact, it's 1 billion. 1 billion for families, children and families, to help put food and shelter over their heads, but also as well for them to have the game. So thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you playing the game. Bye for now.